Across the world, there are peaks that will never appear on a hiking map. They are surrounded by fences, armed guards, and laws that make trespassing a federal crime. These mountains are not famous for their beauty. They are hidden for what lies inside them. Buried beneath thousands of tons of granite and limestone are nuclear command centers, radar stations, and strategic defense systems designed to survive war. From the Ural Mountains of Russia to the deserts of Nevada, and from the highlands of China to the borders of Syria, these peaks serve a different purpose. Some have been closed since the Cold War. Others were sealed more recently. All share the same classification: restricted military zone. The coordinates are known. The details are not. Mount Yamantau rises 1,640 meters above the southern Ural Mountains in Bashkortostan, Russia. It is not a high peak. It is not a famous peak. But it is one of the most restricted mountains on Earth. The area surrounding Yamantau has been closed to civilians since the Soviet era. No hiking, no research, and no exceptions. 17 kilometers from the mountain sits the closed city of Mezgari. The population is roughly 17,000. Entry requires government authorization. The city exists to support whatever is happening inside the mountain. In the 1990s, U.S. intelligence agencies detected something unusual. Satellite imagery showed large-scale excavation activity. Tunnel entrances, construction equipment, rail lines and power infrastructure being built into remote, forested terrain. The work continued for years, possibly decades. Western analysts estimated the project cost billions of dollars. The exact figure remains classified. The suspected purpose is a nuclear command bunker, an emergency leadership facility, a strategic weapons storage site. Maybe all three. The Russian government has offered almost no public comment. When pressed, officials have dismissed the reports or provided vague explanations about mining operations. No independent journalist has accessed the site. No researcher has verified what lies beneath the rock. What is known is the scale. Thousands of workers, heavy machinery, infrastructure capable of supporting long-term underground operations. Satellite images continue to show activity, but they reveal nothing about what happens inside. Mount Yamantau remains closed. The city of Mezgari remains closed. The mountain's interior remains one of the most protected secrets in modern military history. If the construction reports are accurate, this is one of the largest underground military complexes ever built. But without access, without confirmation, the only certainty is secrecy. Russia has hidden something inside this mountain. The world has been watching for decades. And still, no one outside the Russian military knows what it is. Unlike Mount Yamantau, Cheyenne Mountain is not a secret. It is the most documented military mountain in the world. Cheyenne Mountain sits near Colorado Springs in the Rocky Mountains. Elevation is about 2,914 meters. Between 1961 and 1966, the U.S. military carved a fortress into its granite core. The project cost $142 million in 1960s dollars. Adjusted for inflation, that exceeds $1 billion today. The result: 15 buildings built on 4.5 acres of excavated space, 2,000 feet inside solid rock. The buildings are not bolted to the floor. They sit on giant springs designed to absorb the shockwave of a nuclear blast. Two 25-ton blast doors seal the entrance. Each door is 3 feet thick. Cheyenne Mountain was built to house NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command. Its original purpose was simple: detect a nuclear attack and alert leadership before the missiles arrived. For decades, military personnel worked in shifts deep inside the mountain. They monitored radar screens. They tracked Soviet bombers and ballistic missiles. They lived with the knowledge that they might be the first to see the end of the world. In 2006, most operations moved to Peterson Air Force Base. Cheyenne Mountain entered warm standby status, staffed, maintained, but no longer the primary command center. Then, in 2015, concerns about electromagnetic pulse attacks changed the calculation. The military began moving some operations back inside. The mountain's granite shield offered protection that surface facilities could not. Today, Cheyenne Mountain remains operational. Its mission has expanded beyond missile warning, space surveillance, cyber defense coordination, tracking thousands of objects in orbit. Hundreds of military and civilian personnel still work inside. Unlike Russia's hidden peaks, Cheyenne Mountain offers limited public tours. Visitors can see portions of the complex, though sensitive areas remain restricted. The difference is transparency. The US government acknowledges what Cheyenne Mountain is, why it exists, and what it does. It is a Cold War relic that never became obsolete. It is proof that some mountains are not climbed, they are fortified. Bald Mountain rises 2,341 meters above the Nevada desert. It is the highest peak in the Groom Range. Sparse vegetation, bare rock, and endless sky. And it overlooks the world's most famous restricted military installation, Area 51. The mountain itself is off-limits, part of a larger exclusion zone that stretches across the Nevada Test and Training Range. Area 51 was officially acknowledged by the CIA in 2013. Declassified documents confirmed what had been suspected for decades. The site exists, and it is used for classified aircraft testing. The U-2 spy plane, the State Route 71 Blackbird, the F-117 stealth fighter, all tested here. The base remains fully operational and fully restricted. The perimeter is marked by warning signs. They are blunt, use of deadly force authorized. Security personnel patrol the area. They are known informally as camo dudes, private contractors in unmarked vehicles who monitor the boundary 24 hours a day. The site is equipped with ground sensors, cameras, and motion detectors. Trespassing results in arrest and fines exceeding $1,000. The airspace above Area 51 is designated R-4808N. Restricted. No civilian aircraft allowed. The cost of operations at Area 51 is classified. But billions of dollars have been spent on aerospace test programs over the decades. Public access does not exist. The closest legal vantage point is Tikabo Peak, 26 miles away. Even from there, visibility is limited. Bald Mountain and the surrounding Groom Range serve as a natural barrier. The terrain is remote, difficult, and deliberately isolated. Despite persistent public fascination, conspiracy theories, alien speculation, Hollywood depictions, the reality is mundane. Area 51 is an aircraft testing facility. Nothing more. But the extreme measures taken to secure it reveal something important. Aerospace secrecy has real value in modern defense strategy. The mountain is not guarded because of what people imagine. It is guarded because of what is actually tested there. Stealth technology, radar-evading designs, next-generation aircraft that will not be publicly acknowledged for years, if ever. Bald Mountain stands as a physical and legal barrier to one of America's most sensitive military zones. The peak cannot be climbed. The base cannot be entered. The secrecy cannot be breached. And that is exactly the point. The Taihang Mountains stretch across northern China, separating Hebei and Shaanxi provinces. Peaks range from 1,500 to over 2,000 meters. Limestone and sedimentary rock. Dense vegetation in places. Remote valleys. And buried inside them, fighter jets. Satellite imagery analyzed by defense researchers has revealed something unusual. Large tunnel entrances carved into mountainsides. Reinforced doors wide enough for aircraft. Taxiways leading directly into rock. These are not storage facilities. They are operational airbases. Underground. The Taihang Range sits less than 200 kilometers from Beijing. Close enough to defend the capital. Remote enough to avoid detection from the ground. The installations are designed to protect military aircraft from first strike attacks. Missile strikes. Aerial bombardment. Scenarios where surface airbases would be destroyed in the opening hours of conflict. China's military doctrine emphasizes survivability. The strategy is called active defense, preparing to absorb an initial attack and then retaliate. Hardened underground facilities are central to that strategy. The geology of the Taihang Range makes large-scale excavation practical. Limestone and sedimentary rock can be tunneled without the structural challenges of harder granite. Open-source intelligence, satellite images, defense journals, reports from institutions like the Center for Strategic and International Studies, has documented multiple sites across the range. The exact number is classified. The Chinese government has released no official information, but the construction is visible. Tunnel entrances, reinforced blast doors, infrastructure capable of housing squadrons of fighter aircraft. The cost is unknown. Estimates place the investment in the billions of yuan. Construction appears to be ongoing, with updated satellite imagery showing expansion at several sites. The logic is simple. Above-ground airbases are vulnerable. They can be targeted. They can be destroyed. Underground bases cannot be easily attacked. They offer protection, concealment, and operational flexibility. This is not speculation. This is military infrastructure designed for modern warfare. China has hollowed out mountains to protect its air force. The Taihang Range is now part of the country's defensive backbone. The decision reflects a calculation that in the age of precision-guided missiles and satellite surveillance, survivability requires moving underground. The mountains are no longer just terrain. They are weapons systems. Kosvinsky Kamen sits in the northern Ural Mountains, Sverdlovsk Oblast, Russia. Height, approximately 600 meters. Low by mountain standards. Heavily forested. Isolated. And believed to house Russia's alternate nuclear command center. The facility was constructed primarily during the 1990s. A period of economic collapse in Russia. Hyperinflation. Political instability. Government budgets stretched to the breaking point. Yet construction at Kosvinsky Kamen continued. Western intelligence agencies, including the U.S. Department of Defense, have referenced the site in unclassified assessments. Congressional testimonies have identified it as a key component of Russia's nuclear posture. The suspected purpose, ensuring that Russia can launch a retaliatory nuclear strike even if Moscow and central command structures are destroyed. This is continuity of government for nuclear warfare. The facility is designed to withstand nuclear blasts, hardened against electromagnetic pulse. Built deep inside rock, hundreds of kilometers from major cities. It is likely connected to Russia's perimeter system, also known as Dead Hand. An automated network designed to execute nuclear retaliation without human input if leadership is eliminated. The logic is bleak but clear. If Russia's government is decapitated in a first strike, the system ensures retaliation. Kosvinsky Kamen is part of that calculation. The Russian government has provided no official confirmation. No public statements. No acknowledgement of what lies inside the mountain. No journalist has accessed the site. No independent analyst has verified its purpose. But the construction timeline reveals priority. During one of the worst economic crises in modern Russian history, funding was allocated to build and maintain this facility. That choice reflects a strategic calculation. Nuclear continuity cannot be interrupted. Not by economic collapse. Not by political chaos. The mountain remains restricted. The surrounding area is a military zone. Like Mount Yamantau in the southern Urals, Kosvinsky Kamen is sealed, remote, protected. The difference is function. Yamantau may be a bunker. Kosvinsky Kamen is believed to be a command post, active, operational, and ready to coordinate nuclear retaliation if Moscow falls. It is Russia's insurance policy, built into a mountain, hidden in the northern Urals, and still classified. Raven Rock Mountain sits along the Pennsylvania-Maryland border with a height of approximately 450 meters, 60 miles from Washington, D.C., close to Camp David, remote enough to survive a nuclear strike on the capital. Inside the mountain is a city. Construction began in 1951. The Cold War was escalating. Soviet nuclear capability was growing. U.S. military planners needed a backup command center, somewhere Pentagon leadership could continue operations if Washington was destroyed. By 1953, Raven Rock Mountain Complex was operational. Original construction cost $17 million. Over the decades, upgrades and expansions have pushed total investment into the hundreds of millions of dollars. The facility is not a bunker. It is a command center, office space, dormitories, dining facilities, independent power generation, water supply, communication systems capable of directing U.S. forces worldwide. It is often called the underground Pentagon. Unlike Cheyenne Mountain, which allows limited public tours, Raven Rock remains largely classified. The site is acknowledged. The details are not. What is known? The complex is active. Military personnel rotate through shifts, maintaining readiness 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. For over 70 years, people have lived and worked inside this mountain. They have trained for a scenario that has never occurred, nuclear war, but still could. Raven Rock serves the same purpose as Russia's Kosvinsky Kamen, continuity of government in the event of decapitation strikes. The difference is transparency. The U.S. government confirms Raven Rock's existence and general purpose. Russia does not. Raven Rock is not alone. Mount Weather, located in Virginia, serves a similar function for civilian government leadership. Together, these facilities form a network designed to preserve command authority during catastrophic scenarios. The site's relevance has not diminished. Modern threats, cyber attacks, electromagnetic pulse weapons, precision-guided missiles, make hardened underground facilities more valuable, not less. Raven Rock is not a Cold War relic. It is an active military installation. Personnel still work there. Systems are still maintained. Readiness is still tested. The mountain remains operational because the scenario it was built for, nuclear war, remains possible. Some mountains house radar. Some house aircraft. Raven Rock houses leadership. It is the place where command survives. Mount Hermon rises 2,814 meters above the intersection of Syria, Lebanon, and the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. It is the highest peak in the region, and it has been fought over repeatedly, not for its beauty, but because the side that controls it can see everything below. Israel captured Mount Hermon in 1967 during the Six-Day War. The country has maintained control since. The reason is simple: elevation equals information. From the summit, there is direct line of sight into southern Syria, northern Israel, and parts of Lebanon. Visual surveillance, radar coverage, electronic monitoring of communications. The mountain is not a symbolic prize. It is a functional military asset. The summit is a restricted military zone. Observation posts, radar stations, communication antennas. Civilian access is prohibited. In 1973, during the Yom Kippur War, Syrian forces briefly recaptured parts of the mountain. Israeli forces retook it after heavy fighting. The battle underscored the peak's strategic value. Control of Hermon is control of intelligence. The installations at the summit operate year-round, despite harsh conditions. Winter brings snow, wind, and sub-zero temperatures. Resupply is difficult. Personnel rotate in shifts. But the operations never stop. In recent years, the mountain's role has intensified. The Syrian civil war brought instability to the region. Iranian forces and Hezbollah militants moved into southern Syria, within visual range of Israeli positions. Mount Hermon became a critical early warning post. Israeli military operations in Syria have been informed, in part, by intelligence gathered from the summit. The mountain remains contested territory. Syria does not recognize Israeli control. Tensions persist. Unlike the underground facilities in Russia, China, and the United States, Mount Hermon's value is not in what is hidden inside. It is in what can be seen from the top. Height provides reach, vision, warning time. In modern warfare, those advantages are decisive. Mount Hermon is not the tallest peak covered in this documentary. It is not the most secretive, but it may be the most actively contested. The summit has been held by force for over 50 years. It is defended because losing it would mean losing the ability to see. And in the Middle East, that loss could be fatal. 7 mountains. 7 restricted zones. None are defined by geology or natural beauty. All are defined by strategic value. These peaks do not attract climbers. They attract military planners. They are sealed behind fences, guarded by armed personnel, protected by laws that make trespassing a federal or military crime. The common thread: secrecy is enforced through power. Access is permanently denied. What lies inside these mountains, nuclear command centers, aircraft hangars, radar installations, observation posts, remains largely classified. The cost of construction and security has reached billions of dollars across multiple nations. The justification: nuclear war, air superiority, early warning, continuity of government. These are stakes that do not allow for transparency. Most people will never see these mountains up close. The installations inside them will remain classified for decades, possibly longer. This is the reality of military geography. Some mountains are climbed. Others are closed. These peaks belong to governments, not explorers. Elevation means security. Geography serves defense. And access is denied, not because of what people imagine, but because of what is actually there. The world's most restricted mountains are not the tallest. They are not the most beautiful. They are simply too valuable to remain open.